Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So by the order of the Vaishnavas, speak some Harikatha that we've heard from Guru and Vaishnavas glorifying Sri Advaita Acharya, who we glorify as Gaur Ana Thakur. He is our worshipful Lord who brought our worshipful Lord, Gaur Ana Thakur. When Krishna says, "You are not my devotee if you say you are my devotee. You are my devotee if you have this internal mood sincerely that I am the devotee of my devotee." So many people are Gauri Bhaktas. But if we're not Advaita Bhakta also, how can we be Gaur Bhakta? But if we're Advaita Bhakta and not Gaur Bhakta, not Nityananda Bhakta, then Gauranga or Advaita will not be happy. We can't just be Advaita Bhakta. All these fighting in the Gaudiya line came after Mahaprabhu. Advaita party one side, Nityananda party one side. We see this kind of reiterate itself throughout history. The cycles of partisan politics within Vaishnav communities and really all religious communities. So after Mahaprabhu, it was like there was the Advaita party, there was the Nityananda party. But this is missing the point of what does it mean to be a bhakta? To be a devotee means to honor all according to their position without seeing in terms of, oh, they are favorable to me, they are unfavorable to me. We're not interested in developing. Bhakti is not based on selfishness. If it's selfishness, it's not bhakti. Bhakti means selfless devotion. But when we are selflessly devoted, that is serving our true self-interest at the same time. So it's kind of like a paradox. But to please Mahaprabhu, we have great devotion for Advaita Acharya. Advaita Acharya is also nothing ordinary. Advaita Acharya is Mahavishnu Avatar Sri Advaita Chandra. He is the direct manifestation of Mahavishnu, Supreme Personality. Karanadakshay, Garbhadakshay, Shirodakshay, all the different Vishnu incarnations, they all come. You could say Advaita Acharya is there. Now the question is, like, what came first, chicken or the egg? With Advaita Acharya, you can ask the question, what is a higher tattva, Sweta Dweep Dham or Mahavishnu? Advaita Acharya, we were talking with the Vaishnavas last year. Advaita Acharya is in Sweta Dweep. It's an eternal dham. Some people who so-called worship Mahaprabhu say Mahaprabhu has no eternal abode. He only comes in this world, and in that world there's no eternal abode. But Guru and Vaishnavas very strongly condemn such kind of mentality. So Advaita Acharya is eternally present in Swetadweep Dham, which is a higher realm by Rasa Vichar, and also by the reality is that it's a higher place. Mahavishnu is in the causal ocean. And from him, the material universe, the creation is manifesting. But Advaita Acharya, Mahaprabhu, and Swetadweep, they're eternally performing their Astakali Lila. Swetadweep Dham, Navadweep, eternal Navadweep, they're eternally performing their pastimes there. Adhyapya Stilila Kore Gora Rai Kono Kona Bhagyavan Deki Bharapai. They're eternally performing their pastimes in Nadia in this realm also. So where the Lord's Lila is going on, that's a higher tattva, higher realm. Just like in regards to the names of the Lord, it's described that names in relation to this world are secondary names. Primary names are names in relation to the eternal Lord, it's pastimes in the spiritual realm. Govinda, Shamasundar, Gopinath, Madan Mohan. It's a higher name than just Jagannath in relation to this world. So the same thing, like Jagadish. Vrindavan Chandra, it's a higher name. Radharaman, higher name than Jagadish. But Krishna is Jagadish. What is the Jaga? Jaga means space. So the space of the hearts of all the Brijabasis. He is not just space, but a place. Jaga. Jaga is a place. In Hindi, it means a place. So the place of the Brijabasis, Krishna is the Lord of their hearts. So in that way, it's also a high name. But Advaita Acharya, his pastimes in Gaur Leela, you could say, are those pastimes higher? Or are Vishnu's pastimes higher? So when we say Mahavishnu Avatar, this is true. But in another sense, Advaita Acharya is present in his own tattva. But also, that's why the Pancha Tattva is so important, that we worship all the Pancha Tattva, including all the bhaktas. Every time, before we chant Mahamantra, we say, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Without adding the Bhakta Vrinda means the congregation. It means the group. Vrindavan, the group where all the Brisbasis are present. Vrinda means Bhakta Vrinda, the assembly of devotees. So Krishna said that if you're not serving and developing the mood that I am the devotee of the devotees, you are not my devotee. So therefore our mood is that Mahaprabhu is coming entirely just to teach us that he says, I come myself as Aham Bhakta. I come as the devotee to teach devotion by my own example. And in the same way, all Mahaprabhu himself came with that mood. Advaita is also Bhagavan. He's also the Godhead himself, but he also comes in the form of the devotee. Gadadhar Pandit, Swarup Shakti Shrimati Radhika, also in the mood of devotee, even though she is Swarup Shakti, but she is a Paradevi, but really also she takes that humble position, just a simple devotee. Srivas Thakur, Narad Rishi, also a Shaktavesh avatar of the Lord, but also in the mood of the devotee. So Bhakta, Bhagavan, and Bhakti, these three are eternal truths. The Lord himself, the devotees, and the devotion itself, Bhakti. So Sri Advaita Acharya, being Bhagavan, he exemplified the mood of the devotee and pure Gaur Prem by calling Mahaprabhu very loudly. Therefore he's called Gaurana Thakur, that Krishna had determined he would come. But when he would come is not exactly guaranteed. Which Kali Yuga, at what time? Also Kali Yuga is very long. But Advaita Acharya came and he called out with such great roars, praying to the Lord to come, that the Lord appeared. Therefore we sing this song. Jai Jai Advaita Acharya Dhoya Moy, Jara Hunkara Gaura Avatara Hoy. O Advaita Acharya, the embodiment of mercy, by your roars, Mahaprabhu descended. Gaur Avatar. So if Advaita Acharya, some people question about his capacity for giving prem. Can he give this divine love? Bhaktistu Bhagavad Bhakta Sangena Parijhayate. Bhakti comes from the Bhakta. So the argument can be made, okay, he is God. How can he give this love for himself? Krishna says, we hear the avatars, if they are Krishna himself, how do they give this prem? The devotees give prem. Therefore, Krishna himself takes shelter of the devotees. Aham bhakta paradino. I am subordinate to the devotees. But Advaita Acharya and all the Panchatattva, they're in this special mood and role of the bhaktas. That's why, who is Mahaprabhu? Mahaprabhu is appearing as Bhakta Roop. He is appearing in the form of the devotee. Even though he is Bhagavan, he has this mood of bhakti. And because he's received Srimati Radhika's Anga Kanti, her mood and her complexion, he has that power to give that prem. But Advaita Acharya, Nityananda Prabhu, they all have this. That's why it said that Panchatattva, this is one of the arguments that Advaita Acharya can give prem. All the Panchatattva are one tattva. That's why they're called the Panchatattva. Otherwise they'd all be separate. All of them together are considered as one soul, one Atma. Shakti, Shakti Matora Beda. We cannot separate the Godhead from his divine potency, Krishna from Srimati Radhika. So the Panchatattva, who is it? Mahaprabhu, Nityananda, Advaita. They are Bhagavan Tattva, Bhagavata. They are the Purush, meaning they are Vishay Bhagavan, but also in the mood of ashray. Nityananda is ashray jatiya, but Bhagavan. But still they are Vishnu Tattva. Like that's why on Advaita Saptami, we fast from grains. Nityananda Chaudhary, we fast from grains. Gaur Purnima, we fast from grains. Why? Vishnu Tattva. But Gadadhar Pandit's appearance, we don't fast from grains. Srivas Thakur's, we don't fast from grains. Shakti Tattva. Gadadhar Srimati Radhika. And Srivas Thakur, he is also Bhakta, so he's not Bhagavan Tattva, not Vishnu Tattva. But Shakti Matora Veda, therefore, they are Pancha Tattva. But it's also described that Mahaprabhu appears in these 5 manifestations. Bhakta Roop, Bhakta Swarup, Bhakta Avatar, Bhakta Prakash. So in one sense, we understand they're all Mahaprabhus. And that's why if Mahaprabhu has the power to give Prem, Advaita Acharya is also the part of Mahaprabhu. He can give this Prem. But he shows his Prem by calling Mahaprabhu. Some people may argue, if he could give it directly, why did he have to call Mahaprabhu? But he shows his Prem, his deep. He wasn't calling Mahaprabhu because he just thought, oh, I need Mahaprabhu's help. He was calling Mahaprabhu out of his deep, deep love. Otherwise, Mahaprabhu would not come. You can call all day and night someone, but if you have no love for them, why would they come? You can stand outside and call all day and night. Come, to some personality. Why are they going to come? If you have love for them, attachment for them, deep prayer, with deep love and affection, then they'll come. So therefore, Advaita Acharya, can anyone doubt that he has Gaura Prem? Or that he has Krishna Prem? Gaura Prem is Krishna Prem. Gaura Prema Rasarnave se taranga jebadube se radha madhava antaranga. If you submerge yourself in the ocean of Radha Krishna's Gaura's Prem, then you'll get Radha Krishna Prem also. So can anyone doubt that Advaita Acharya has Gaura Prem? No one will question that. And if you have Prem, you can give it. Nobody else can. You can't give what you don't possess. And so Advaita Acharya, no one would question if he had love for Gauranga. And Gauranga is Radha Krishna. So what's the difference between Gaura Prem and Radha Krishna Prem? If we worship Radha Krishna without Mahaprabhu, we won't achieve Radha Krishna. Kali Yuga, without Mahaprabhu, we cannot achieve Radha Krishna. So therefore, Gaura Prema is Radha Krishna. Why do we say Mahaprabhu Sri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nahi Anya? Mahaprabhu is non-different from Radha Krishna. Every day, Krishna Hoite Chaturmurtika, we sing this song. Mahaprabhu Sri Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nahi Anya. So Gaura Prem is equivalent to Radha Krishna Prem. And Advaita Acharya has this, so he can grant it. And Gaura Prem is Brajanagar. He is not, Mahaprabhu is not coming just to give something dry, Vaikuntha Prem, Aishwarya Sitil Prem, Nahi Mora Prita. Chaitanya Charitamrita says, Vaikuntha Prem, Aishwarya Prem. It's the mood of awe and reverence. This cannot satisfy me. Therefore, Mahaprabhu is not giving that Prem. Mahaprabhu is giving that very rare thing, Unata Ujvala Rasam Svabhakti Shriyam, Rashika Sekara Krishna, Raga Marga Bhakti Loke Korite Pracharan. He's giving Raga Bhakti. And Advaita Acharya has that Gaur Prem. Therefore, he can bestow that Gaur Prem. Therefore, we take shelter and pray to him for his mercy, for his shelter. We don't want to develop Paksha Bhav. Oh, I like Nityananda, Advaita, it's okay. He helped, he gives philosophy, Advaita Acharya. But if we don't understand and develop love for Advaita Acharya, for Srivas Thakur, for Gadadhar Pandit, how will we get the mercy of the Panchatattva? How will we get mercy of Radha Krishna? So Lochan Das Thakur sings in the second line of this song, Prema dhata sita nata karuna sagara Jara prema rase ailo brajera nagara. Prema data Sitanath. Lochan Das Thakur says, Prema data Sitanath. Advaita Acharya, the giver of Prem. Directly it's saying here, he is the giver of Prem, the Lord of Sita Devi, and an ocean of compassion, Karuna Sagar. Jara Prema Rase Ailo, by his Prem Ras. Because of his Prem and Ras, like we say, Rupa Goswami didn't just, many people gave Bhakti, but who gave Bhakti Ras? Ras is a higher thing, Bhakti Ras. It's not just Bhakti. Bhakti with Ras, with deep, powerful, strong attachment. Sweetness. So he's giving Prem Ras, Jara Prema Rasa Ailo, Brajara Nagar. By his Prem Ras, Brajanagar, Krishna, Mahaprabhu came. So if there's not the devotee with love for Guru or with love for Krishna, how will Krishna come in our heart? Where does Prem come from? Bhaktistu Bhagavad Bhakta Sangena Parijayate. Bhakti comes from the Bhakta who has that love. Prema Data Sitanatha Karuna Sagar. He has that prem, therefore he's giving it. It's said that Hud Hud Shabde Ailo, Sri Advaita Acharya. He was roaring so loudly. This is because his prem was so powerful. It's like, if you have no power, it's like a watt of a bulb. 1 watt bulb, how much effulgence? 10,000 watts, how much effulgence? Speakers, 5 decibel, 50,000 decibel. How much prem did he have? His roars were so loud, more than 50,000 decibel, hundreds of thousands, that the throne of Vishnu was shaking. It's described in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Mahaprabhu, when he was in his Astra Praharya Bhav, for over 20 hours, he was showing all the incarnations of Vishnu, Varahadev, Nrsingadev, and he was showing all the devotees and giving all their blessings. And he was calling out, oh, where is Nara, Nara, Nara? Where is Advaita Acharya? By his roars, I was sitting, Kirshagar, Suiloami. I was resting on the ocean of milk, and his great roaring was shaking my Singhasan, and therefore I came. Therefore he is Gaurana Thakur. So for example, if someone has love for Gurudev, and by that love they attract Gurudev, and then give association of Gurudev to another Baddha Jiva, then who is giving them Gurudev? Gurudev is coming, or that love of the devotee is bringing Gurudev? Like before Gurudev came to the West, New Braj, take New Braj as an example. Gurudev said, hearts were crying for me, therefore I came. The people who didn't have that love for Gurudev or weren't crying out to God for Guru, they got the mercy of the good fortune from those devotees. The point is that respect the devotees. Without the devotees, if you have no devotion, how are you going to get help? You can't just go to the top of the tree. You can't just go to Krishna. Just go to Radharani. Just go to Mahaprabhu. You go through the bhaktas. That's why, what are we doing? Bhakta Bandhav. The devotees, emphasize the importance that the devotees are your dearmost friend. Take Guru as an example. Without those who had Gurudev, many devotees were praying to him, come to the West, we need your help, we need your help. Please, Gurudev, if you don't come, how will we, so many people are suffering so much. They don't know the point of life. They're drying and suffering in the desert of material, this desert-like existence. Without any ras, without any prem. Gurudev, please come and help them. Then Gurudev came. So Advaita Acharya, so many millions and countless jivas were suffering in samsara, unaware of the true value of their life in the human form of existence. Or so many species that Mahaprabhu said wherever he would look, even the lions, the tigers, the trees, the deer, everyone would experience ecstasy and prem. So if Advaita Acharya had not called Mahaprabhu, how would any of these creatures have gotten prem? The lions and the tigers in Jharkhand forest, would they have gotten prem? So you can say Mahaprabhu gave it. Mahaprabhu gave that prem, you may say. But if Advaita Acharya had not called him, how would they have gotten that prem? So should we then, I don't need Advaita Acharya. I can just, Mahaprabhu is everything. But if you don't respect Advaita Acharya, Mahaprabhu would not be happy. Similarly, if you don't respect Lord Nityananda, Mahaprabhu will not be happy. That devotees would go and touch Mahaprabhu's feet, and then Nityananda, Mahaprabhu was disturbed. And they saw this again and again, Mukunda Dat Prabhu. Then when Mukunda Prabhu came and first offered pranam to Lord Nityananda and took his foot dust, Mahaprabhu was very pleased. Mahaprabhu, even though, you could say he is higher because Advaita Acharya called him, he could have just done it on his own. But he wanted Mahaprabhu. He had so much love for, we could say, okay, no need Gurudev to come. We can go and preach and help people. But if we have love for Gurudev, no, Gurudev must come. And then when Gurudev comes, Gurudev meets so many people. and helped so many people, so should we not have any gratitude to the people who brought Gurudev? Oh, no need them, just Gurudev. Gurudev is everything. But Panchatattva means all the bhaktas are with Gurudev. That's the meaning of Panchatattva. Don't try to separate. It's like, oh, it's only about this one person. No one else matters. Vaishnavas don't matter. Gurudev's associates don't matter. I remember the Vaishnavas saying so strongly, when you do Guru Mantras, also offer pranam in your mind to all Gurudev's associates. All Srila Prabhupada's associates. Srila Swami Prabhupada, Srila Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada, Srila Param Gurudev. You will never please the Ishtadev if you don't respect their associates. You think you'll please Krishna by disrespecting the Brijabasis? Oh Krishna, I love you so much. But oh, the Brijabasis, cow herders, no class, no education. Kubja, I'm Kubja's party. Krishna come to me. But Kubja, did she worship the Brijabasis? That's why Sadharan. Her rati was ordinary. Rupa Goswami says, Kubja's rati, ordinary, Sadharan. But if you have love for the Brijabasis, then Krishna is so pleased. If you serve the Brijabasis, what does Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada say? The goal of our existence is to serve and please the Brijabasis. It's not directly, oh, Krishna. Even we hear Bhaktivinoda Thakur say, oh, you worship Krishna without Radharani? This is Mayavad. You'll not get Krishna. Krishna Nirakar Nirvisesh. Without Radharani, without the Brijabasis, you'll become, maybe Dwarkarani at the topmost. So same thing with the Advaita Acharya, that we always pray and take shelter of Advaita Acharya. He is Prema Data Sitanatha. Lochan Das Thakur is saying this. Prema Data Sitanatha Karuna Sagar. Jara Prema Rasil Ailo Brajera Nagar. By his Prema Ras, twice in the same line. By his Prema Ras, Braj Nagar Krishna came as Mahaprabhu. The next line. Jahare Karuna Kori Kripa Dite Chai Prema Rase Se Jana Chaitanya Gunagai. To whomever he wants to mercifully bestow his grace. Jahare Karuna Kori Kripa Dite Chai. Whoever Advaita wants to give you mercy to, Advaita Acharya. Prema Rase Se Jani. That person receives Prema Ras. Chaitanya Gunagai. That person sings the glories of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu submerged in Prema Ras. So how can we argue he can't give Prem? By his mercy, Prem Ras awakens in the heart. Lochan Das Thakur says. Next line. Tahara padete jeba loi lo sharana se jana pailo gora prema mahadhana. Tahara padete jeba loi lo sharan. He who takes shelter of his lotus feet attains the supreme wealth of Gaura Prem. Se jana pailo gora prema mahadhan. They get Gaura Prem, the greatest wealth. So is Gaur Prem inferior to Krishna Prem? When we say Pancham Purushartha Krishna Prem, is that higher than Gaura Prem? So some people may say, oh, he can give Gaura Prem, he cannot give Krishna Prem. What is the difference? Gaura Prema Rasar Nave Seta Range Jebo Dube Serad Hamad Hava Antaranga. By achieving Gaura Prem, Gaura Prema Rasar Nave, by submerging in the ocean of Gaura Prem Ras, then one becomes Radha Madhav Antaranga. Intimate Antaranga means intimate associate of Radha Madhava in that group. So how can we argue that he cannot give this Prem? Prema Rase Sejan Chaitanya Guna Gai. To that person who receives Advaita Acharya's mercy, then they become filled with Prem Ras and sing the glories of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. By taking shelter of his lotus feet, we attain the supreme wealth of Gaura Prem. Sejan Pailo Gaura Prema Mahadan. Emona Dhoyara Nidhi Kene Nabajilu. Lochan Bole Nija Mate Bhajara Padilu. Lochandas says, why have I not worshipped such a treasure house of mercy? Instead, I have struck my own head with a thunderbolt. Many people, oh, I am such a great bhakta, always worshipping Mahaprabhu, always worshipping Krishna, inimical to the devotees. Oh, the devotees, There's one thing is Kanishta Adhikari. Kanishta neophyte, they don't know how to properly respect the devotees. That's not aparad. They're like babies. Vaishnavas, we hear so many times, oh, babies pass stool urine in the mother's lap. It's not offense. But if you're a teenage boy and you go and sit on your mother's lap and pass stool and urine on her, that's not an offense. That's a great offense. So Kanishta Adhikaris, they don't know how to properly respect devotees. No problem. Guru Vaishnava is very merciful. They have devotion for the deities. It said the senior must bow down to the junior and help train them and gradually, lovingly teach them and help them advance. So it's not for Kanishta Adhikaris. But those who are, oh, I'm so senior, long time in bhakti, 10, 20 years, but inimical to the devotees, inimical to the bhaktas, they'll never get prem. What's the example? This is also shown in the life of Advaita Acharya. Sachi Mata, Mahaprabhu's own mother, the equivalent of our Mother Mary for Jesus. The whole, everyone worships her. For us, we know it's much higher. Sachi Mata, Sachi Garbha Sindhu Harindu. The Lord appeared in that ocean-like womb of the love of Sachi Mata. She is none different from Jashoda Mata, mother of Krishna. But Mahaprabhu showed that no one is spared from Vaishnava aparad, from inimical mentality towards the devotees and from criticizing devotees. She had some, because of even her grief, it was like you'd think that, okay, she's very sad, therefore she gets a pass. She was very sad because she thought that by Advaita Acharya's association, her first son, Vishwarup, had left home and become a sannyas, renunciant, sannyasi. So she was very sad. Oh, my son has left. And then Mahaprabhu Nimai began to go to his school and hear Bhagavat from him, hear Gita from him. So she was thinking, oh no, now I'll lose Nimai also. So she said, he is not Advaita, he is Dvaita. He causes division. Dvaita, he causes duality, separateness. He separates the son from the family. He separates people. He is not Advaita, non-dual, who brings one together, who makes yoga, communion, union. Instead, he is dividing. So it said that when Mahaprabhu was giving prem to everyone openly, whoever would look at, he would just shower them with prem. But Sachi Mata, he refused to give. Even his own mother, he would not give this prem. She was so sad that, oh, now, when Mahaprabhu is showing Sachinandan Gaur Hari, we all glorify Sachinandan Gaur Hari. But he would not give his own mother this Braj prem or this prem. He said, how she has offended my Advaita Acharya. And people asked, oh, Advaita Acharya, Sachimata offended. He said, how can, it's described in Chaitanya Bhagavat, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Advaita Acharya began to glorify her. She is the mother of the entire universe. She is the mother of the Supreme Lord. And he was only praising her with so much devotion, showing his prem, that he showed the real example, even though he was offended, even though he was criticized. This is all a leela of the Lord to teach us. But even though he was criticized, he showed his prem for Mahaprabhu by the prem for Sachimata. Gurudev says that, oh, we love Krishna, but we don't love his vastu, his tadiya madhya vastu, those things connected to him. Then we don't love Krishna. If we love Krishna, we love the mridanga, we love the kartals, we love the temple, because it's connected to Krishna. It's Krishna seva vastu. It's there for serving Krishna. So Mother Yashoda could put down Krishna and go save the milk, because it was seva vastu for Krishna. So she had mamata for it. She had love and attachment to it, possessiveness towards it. I have to save it. So Advaita Acharya showed his real love because of his love for everything connected to Mahaprabhu. And so he didn't care that he was personally slighted or criticized. No, he said, she is Jagan Mata. And he only had so much respect. But Sachimata knew she had to get some, Mahaprabhu's forgiveness. And she asked Advaita Acharya, forgive me. He said, how can I? There's no offense. But when he was dancing in prem, Advaita Acharya in Sankirtan, dancing in prem, he fell unconscious in ecstasy. Sachimata took his foot dust and spread it all over her body. And then Mahaprabhu she received this prem. So therefore, unless you take shelter of the lotus feet of Advaita Acharya, then how can we get Gauranga Mahaprabhu's mercy? How can we get Lord Nityananda's mercy? That's why what comes first? Advaita Saptami. First Advaita Acharya, then Nityananda comes, then Mahaprabhu comes. Advaita Saptami, even by dates, by time, and Saptami, 7th, Chaturdasi, Trayodasi, the 13th, and then Purnima, the full moon. First Advaita Acharya, then Nityananda, then Mahaprabhu comes. So we pray to Advaita Acharya for his causeless mercy, that we can receive this Gauda Prem. We don't say, let's develop Advaita Prem. He's Ashraya Jatiya Bhagavan. Even though he's Bhagavan, he's teaching us in the role of the devotee. So he will not be happy if we only had a deity of Advaita Acharya. No Mahaprabhu, would Advaita Acharya be happy? Like the Vaishnavas, they want to see Gurudev. They don't want to see themselves. But where Gurudev is, how can we not have the associates, the Vaishnavas? So Advaita Acharya, how can we have to please Mahaprabhu, we have to please Advaita. If we have a Murti of Advaita Acharya, no Mahaprabhu, will Mahaprabhu be happy? Therefore we have Panchatattva. This is most pleasing to Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu is there, Lord Nityananda is there, Advaita Acharya is there, Gadadhar Pandit there, Srivas Thakur is there, and Srivas Thakur representing all the devotees. Bhakta Vrinda. Some devotees were chanting, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Mahaprabhu was not happy. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Mahaprabhu was more happy, but still not completely happy. Then Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita, Mahaprabhu was ecstatic, but still something lacking. Then Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita, Gadadhar, more ecstasy. Srivasadi, complete Bhakta Vrinda. So this is how we please Mahaprabhu, this is how we please Krishna. That's why our Gurudev teaches us, before we chant japa, we pray Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita, Gadadhar, Srivasti, go to Bhakta Vrinda, clasping the lotus feet of all the Vaishnavas. We take shelter of the Lord. Without the devotee's mercy, we can never advance in bhakti. If there's any thorn in, when Durvasa Rishi showed the pastime of trying to kill Ambarish Maharaj, Vaishnav, it said this is one of the 6 kinds of Vaishnava Parad, to try to harm the Vaishnava. He went to Vishnu for protection, for forgiveness. He went to Brahma, to Shiva. No one could save him. Vishnu said, I cannot help you. You have to go to the devotee. I will not. Aham bhakta paradino. I am subordinate to the devotee. Sadhava hridayam mayam. The sadhu is my heart. I am their heart. How, it said that Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami wrote a whole book, The Heart of Krishna. And the whole book is just examples of Vaishnava Parad and how their life became, how they had their fall from grace, and eventually by taking shelter of the devotee, they could receive the Lord's mercy again. So he said, that is the heart of Krishna, the devotees. So those who criticize Advaita Acharya, they never achieve any spiritual development, spiritual advancement. To speak of that, road of Pare Mare. So today we remember Sri Advaita Acharya. There's so many of his glorious pastimes. Perhaps tomorrow we'll continue hearing the glories of Advaita Acharya, how he appeared, how he had this name Kamalaksha, how his beautiful pastimes in his childhood, when he was like the Raj Purohit, priest to the king with his father, how he performed the Shraddha ceremony, giving prominence to Haridas Thakur, which caused a great controversy amongst the Brahmins. Haridas Thakur Yavana. He said, no. You can have all the qualities of the Brahmins, but if you don't have bhakti, these are all like ornaments on a dead body.